I'm Janet Biehl. I'm interviewing Sevinaz Evdike, the director of Berbu. Hello, Sevinaz.
Hello, Janet. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, actually. Good to see you.
It's good to see you. Where are you right now, may I ask?
I am in Komîna City in Rojava, in my institution, Kezi.
Before we talk about the film, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in Rojava right now?
So I guess it was not too much in the news, but it was like a new attack that is, we are used to it in October. At the beginning of October, Turkey launched an attack on Rojava, and this time was different. It was not occupying one city and having like a direct attack on the floor. It was more on the land. It was more like drones and airplane bombing electricity stations, water station, wheat station, wheat keeping place. I don't know the right English word for it. Water, gas, so all the resources for like living. It was bombed from Kobane to Derek. As a result of 2 weeks of attack, 57 people lost their life, and more than 70 bases have been attacked, but like electricity and petrol and water. And in one day, we lost 29 young people that they were in a training for anti-drugs, like the social Asaish, that they were getting a training for anti-drug. They have been bombed in one day, and 29 people were dead in one day, were martyred.
Oh.
So now the attack have been stopped in the last week because I guess the situation is around Syria and what is happening in Palestine. So it have been stopped here for like maybe 1 week. But in this week, Rojava have no water, no electricity in most of the places. We are worried that we are going to have like a heavy winter because without mazot, without diesel, there is no, we depend on mazot to be warm in our houses. There will be no gas for cooking. Mostly like they attack places to make living in Rojava very difficult for everyone.
Oh. It's heartbreaking and devastating. And
yeah,
I'm glad we at least have electricity for this interview, but my heart goes out to everyone there. While you were talking, I realized that this is October 2024, so 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Attack on Serekaniye, and I believe that's your native city.
Yeah, I am from Serekaniye. In 2019, a Turkish attack happened there, and I flew with all my family, also all the members of Rojava Film Commune. We had a center there, so we left. In 2019 we left like many, not only our houses and memories, we also lost lots of friends and families, and it was the last time to see them. But again, in October, like this happening every year in the same time, emotionally, it's so hard to even like keep yourself standing every day because you see it's never ending.
The film must be in some ways based on your own memories, because it starts out with the attack on Serekaniye of October 2019.
Yeah.
While watching it, I felt like I was maybe also experiencing a little bit of what you experienced as a refugee.
Yeah, thank you. It's very important if you feel like this. For me, it is what I wanted to make audience feel it. And so Berbu, like the story was written, part of the story was written long time before the attack on Serekaniye. Because people who lived in Serekaniye were always threatened by attack. Women who want to get married, people who want to have new kids, people who want to build their house, they were always threatened by the attack. It was like not only in 2019 Erdogan decided and he attacked Serekaniye. No, we lived this feeling of it's going to happen for years. And I had part of the story written because I had my best friend always planning for her wedding, and then a threat happened and she canceled it. this is where the story comes from, and I wrote it long time ago, and it stayed where it was. I had it on a notebook that it stayed in Serekaniye. It never come with me, but after the attack, on the way when I was fleeing with my family, I had 10 kids with me inside the car, but I saw a bride running away from her. I saw it with my eyes that it was happening in that day. And she was another friend of me that I used to study with her at school. So it was something that I was so connected to see this is happening to her.
It's very
so
it's very interesting, the choice of a wedding as your theme, because it evokes hope for the future and the realization of dreams, and this at a moment when dreams are being trampled on. So it's very a wonderful choice, I think, to evoke the pain of the situation. I noticed that especially in the first part of the movie, it's a very psychologically sensitive movie and very emotional. And I noticed we look at people through windows and doors and screens and car windows as if we're looking into their hearts. I think it's a really beautiful use of creating a sense of getting inside of people and what they're feeling and thinking. And the camera lingers on the town. I don't think it can really be Serekaniye, but in your terms of your location, but the camera lingers as if saying goodbye, and it's really very heartbreaking. And then it occurred to me while watching the cars lined up to flee and the people fleeing both in vehicles and on foot, it's almost as if the wedding parade was the parade of people leaving Serekaniye, departing. Yeah. That's the parade, and it's really devastating.
Yeah. Basically, like, as a woman, I couldn't, like, there is many, I guess, symbols of like continuing life and always hoping for new life. There is many things in the society happens that you can take them as a symbol for continuing your life or building a new life. But for me as a woman, maybe the two topics that I could speak about them is like the wedding, marriage, and also like birth. But birth is something that I didn't experience and I couldn't be like very connected to it. So for me, it was more like the story that I witnessed from women in my age. And I could feel it was the perfect at that time to me as a story to tell about what happened in Serekaniye. And also like the window images, it is the threat that nobody speak about, and you always just hear it from other people whispering about it because you don't want to scare each other, you don't want to panic, you have been through this for very long. And I try to create images from the real life, from the real life that happened in Serekaniye. And I remember my house is full of windows and we always look in the yard through the window, checking my father if he's saying we are going to flee or not. So I just copy it from my real life about the threat. And also the image of the cars like fleeing, it's something that I witnessed, I lived, but not only me, like people from Afrin lived, I saw the videos. It's exactly the same image. People from Giresupi, it's not an image that it was so difficult to create it because we all lived it. Half of the people of Rojava lived it, Kobane people lived it. And even in the film, we have real shots from Serekaniye because I couldn't remake them, but I had the real ones, so I just used them.
I see. I know it's the family. Gula's family seems very confused about whether to go or stay. They're arguing about what is the proper thing to do, and she herself seems, her wedding is the next day. She seems very, very disoriented, and the delivery of the furniture, and does that go through or not? And it's just a kind of really gives a sense of the kind of paralysis. I mean, what do we do? Do we go or stay?
Yeah.
And at the same time, and then the bride who got married that day, is her name Shervan? Barin. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes. Sorry. I got the names mixed up. So Barin, I mean, she's in the middle of her wedding. She got married, but apparently there's no religious contract. So is it legitimate or not? Can she go with her husband or not? I mean, it's just, she too is kind of paralyzed, emotionally immobilized by the confusion of the moment. But then we meet Naze, who seems to be, and this is understandable from the point of view of like looking at gender roles, but Naze is completely outside of this. She is not only is she not getting married that day, she doesn't seem to take a very strong, favorable view of marriage. She seems to want to, someone calls her a rude and shameless girl.
Yeah, true.
She's just angry. She's not immobilized. She's just angry at what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful performance, by the way, by that actress.
Yeah. She's amazing. She's an engineer. She have nothing to do with acting.
Oh my gosh.
No one of the actors of the film, they already act at all before. They are all just my friends that they accepted to do the film because we wanted to make a film about Serekaniye. Everybody participating in that film was like a volunteer work from everyone. Even the people that you see them fleeing from Serekaniye, they are the real refugee of Serekaniye, who accepted to come and to do it with us. And the crying that you see and the feeling that you feel, it's not something that I did as a director. To be honest, it's more the true thing that happened. I bring them together and they were just like feeling what happened with them. It was a horrible thing to do, to be honest, but they wanted to do it for Serekaniye. From the beginning, I was always doubting if I should ask the people from Serekaniye to do it. But the moment they know it's a film about Serekaniye and especially that I am from Serekaniye, it didn't make it so weird for them, somebody asking them, because we witnessed all together.
Yeah.
And so no one was a real actor or like a real people who we rehearsed together about everything. It was just all natural, and it happened because we wanted to do something about what we experienced. And this is the result. And basically about the three different characters of the woman, I really wanted to show the conflict about being under war, but being a woman, being in a society that have been struggling in the last few years for in sense of the revolution and like women liberation in Rojava, but also like the struggle with the society and the background that have been like for 100 years like obliged on women. So all this contradiction where it lead a woman, because there is like Gule at the end, she decide like she want to do something, she want to be part of something that is bigger. She want to be part of the struggle. She want to be close to Serekaniye. She want to be close to her father. She want to help women in January in the women village. And so I wanted to show contradiction, but also how our paths as women from Rojava change based on what we faced and witnessed.
Well, it's even Naza herself undergoes a change at the refugee camp. She's angry and she's not really considering, she resents her mother trying to get her married off. But then this young man who she meets he seems to almost be on her same level, on her same wavelength, because he understands that they need a path forward out of the refugee shelter. That's how I interpreted it anyway. So that's why Naza sort of, she's in it but looking outside it, and this young man is in it but looking outside it too, and he realizes this is a way we can build a path forward together into the future. And so must be a compromise for her, but on the other hand, it's a way forward. So
also it is the story of like, it is the real story of like tens of women that they married inside the shelter, not because they wanted to be married, they just got married because they wanted to build a new life. Still, after everything that happened, they wanted to build a new life. They wanted to be out. They wanted to have a kind of normal life.
And when she finally takes a shower at the end of the movie, after being told that she smells all the way through, it's very beautiful, but it also sort of felt to me like, oh, she's starting a new life. She's bathing, she's rinsing off the old, she's going to move forward. And
okay, the shower part was my personal story. After I went to Serekaniye, I was refusing to change my clothes or to have a shower for like maybe 20 days. I was going to work every day, but I was not like, I was refusing to accept that I'm not going home. So this is very personal for me.
Thank you for sharing that. Really glad to know that.
Yeah, it's not a good reputation, but
Well, it's a very powerful film and a very moving film, and I'm sure everyone is looking forward to where you will go next, and speaking in terms of moving into the future. But
Thank you.
you're a woman filmmaker, and I wanted to just call that out. I know around the world, filmmaking is very much a male-dominated profession. I wonder if you could say a few words about being a woman filmmaker in Rojava. Is it a struggle in any way?
Yeah, of course. For women, it's always a struggle. Even if you are like, if you belong to this revolution that is like 13-year-old, and like the woman liberation is a symbol in this revolution, but is still a Kurdish woman from a tribal society that have been like, as much you struggle is still a hard job. And making films in Rojava is new, not only for women, for everyone. Like in 2015, when Komîna Fîlm Rojava was created, like it was a struggle to convince families that their daughter can come and join, and we can together learn and make films. So imagine a difficult work that is really not easy, and you need to be far from your society, your house, for months, most of the time. And new, like nobody is really professional here in Rojava. We are all learning together. We have just few professionals who come to help us, but not really. And being a woman, making your family accept the reality that you're going to be far for a while because you want to make films. And it has been a struggle from the beginning, as everybody, woman, man, but then it continued to be very difficult for women, not mostly for men in the same level, because for us still we are the woman I am the woman who come back at home, and I'm 31 years old and I'm not married, and I am not planning to get married very soon, and I am the woman who go far for months, and I'm the woman that not taking showers most of the time. And so it is, as a society, is not really accepted. And also there is women that they want to do technical work that is really not accepted among man filmmaker. It is a huge struggle. We have the support of the women movement here that they really like. They want us to go forward. This is the support that keep us moving on for these years. But in 2023, this is why we created Kezi, because with the idea of the coexistence, even with the idea of like, shared resources, shared work, like shared decision, man and woman, that it is part of our ideology here in Rojava. Still with that, there was women that they really wanted to be, like they couldn't feel themselves 100% with a society that is mixed with men. So we thought like there is women that they want to totally to be independent as young women, and as a start, it's good for them to start alone, not mixed with men, because you still have the patriarchal mentality. As long as you fight it, it's still like only 10 years is not enough to make the right change. I think it needs longer time, but the nice thing is like you have a group of young women here that they really want to make film, and we are aiming to learn together, to do together, and to create our own stories at the end. And we are doing it well until now. And I hope we are going to grow bigger and bigger with time and with more struggle.
Yeah, it sounds like a wonderful project. And it's wonderful that you are choosing to go that route, to work with women, even as your own films are becoming internationally recognized. So congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. For me, at the first place, like even the first day we started to make films, for us, the first to aim, not only me, all the women, we are working together here now. Our first aim was to create a space for cinema in Rojava. So it was more about screening, educating, training, learning. And then if we have like the group, the energy, the people to make our own films and our own stories, and we are keep on doing that. I am ready to not make films for the next 5 years if there is people who together we can create a better thing for the society, of course.
You consider filmmaking an act of resistance?
basically what I told now before, it is like what I would say it for filmmaking as an activist resistance, being a Kurd woman from Rojava that is under attack for many years. Our culture have been forbidden for many years. Our language have been forbidden for many years. So filmmaking definitely is an act of resistance, because first of all, we are resisting to tell our own story that have been forbidden for years and years, and to try to tell it not only to our people, but also to tell it to an international audience that they mostly nobody knows. I was telling you a little bit before about the attack on the Turkish attack on Rojava. I have many friends that are diaspora, and I have like friends that they are from the West. I have friends from the US, Europe. They didn't hear anything about what is happening in Rojava. It's not on the news. Nobody's talking about it. Yeah. So it is our responsibility to tell it somehow, and to bring it to make it visible for the people who even not putting the effort to go and check what is happening in the world.
Wonderful. Well, on behalf of the New York Kurdish Film Festival, 7th edition, I congratulate you on your remarkable work and on your brilliant filmmaking endeavors. And thank you for this. Thank you for taking time to talk to us today.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me that you are talking with me, taking the time to make an interview with me. It's like such an honor, and I'm so happy to share my film with New York Film Festival and the Culture Center itself. It's such I'm glad, and it's an honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sevinaz. Goodbye now.
Bye-bye.